Alright, today we're in Opotiki and it starts pouring down rain. The whole morning has been raining, so we had to cancel our jet boat ride and I have to find us something to do.
Yes, unfortunately the weather is a bit miserable today, but luckily even in a small town like Opotiki there is an indoor activity to do.
The museum keeper is quick to tell us the story of the building itself. It's actually an old bus station that they have just recently taken over, and they're actually very proud of the fact that they've successfully filled it up. They actually had to find quite a lot of showcase to make because, well, a bus station is actually quite gigantic and the original building for the Opotiki Museum was much smaller.
This used to be a TV.
If I was a kid in the 19-whatevers, I'd definitely want one of those.
The ground floor is full of relics from the past.
Looks like an uncomfortable saddle. Can you imagine sitting on that?
The centre of the ground floor is full of old farming equipment dating back to over 100 years, as well as loads of really old tools.
Do you remember at Washburn Falls when I took you on one of those?
Except for yours was smaller than this one.
Wow, that's what she said.
Always smaller.
A really cool feature of the ground floor in particular is that it's lined with all these mock-ups of old shops and services that used to be around Opotiki. For example, there's the hospital, there's the dairy, which in New Zealand is the word for the convenience store, there's the wool shed, the barbers, the sawmill, so many different things absolutely packed with old trinkets and tools that were used in these shops.
The barber shop of Opotiki.
Alf's barber shop, brother.
It will be known from this day as the barber shop of Opotiki. Were there Alaskan bears in Opotiki at some point?
It really looks like the rain is bringing out the sassiest of all the Lauras. But we are now making our way all the way to the top because yes, there is a second level of this museum where we find a bunch of maps.
I found a treasure map.
So it looks like it's not today that we're gonna go on a great adventure to find a hidden treasure, but we keep on moving around the museum. The top level have heaps of Maori artifacts as well as early settlers, and I spot a piano.
Drop the mic. Boom.
Aside from that, there is something really cool on the top level. There is some little alcove that offers us a window into Opotiki through the ages. It's really nice.
Who is that? That is a very weird ass living room with a lot of really weird stuff. You can't even walk around.
I actually knew loads of people back at home who had rocking horses.
Where are you from?
These little windows give you an insight into the different stages of the early pioneers, from the immigration vessels to the whalers' cabins, the old pubs, the Victorian bedrooms, even an old school, which I'm really interested in.
Settlers' school. I want to go to early settlers' school.
There's really something fun to see in every single one of these rooms, but on this top floor it's not just about these little rooms. There's also a huge Maori exhibition, which unfortunately we can't film, but there's loads of different Maori artifacts, carvings, weapons, and it's really awesome to check out for yourself. The final room that we're checking out is sort of like a war memorial. Not only is it dedicated to the world wars, but also some local wars as well. There's loads of different weapons on display, both Maori and European, as well as photos of locals that have fallen in battle. It's a humbling end to a really good and cheap activity that you can do indoors on a rainy day in Opotiki, so we're so glad we found it.
Thank you very much, bye-bye. Oh, it's almost too bright now. The rain has passed, the sun is taking over.
Tomorrow we are going to be going on a canoeing trip because we have met a guy who knew a guy with heaps of canoes, and he's saying, oh well, go join this guy for a canoe trip. It's been a bit of a last minute sort of organisation, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty cool, so join us for a local tour of the Whakatane River tomorrow.